All right, Mom, you're going to put a stop to this right now. What do you think you're doing, spreading such awful rumors about me? You're lying to the whole neighborhood about your own daughter. I can't even begin to tell you how much you've humiliated me.
Whatever could you be talking about, Melina? I haven't lied about you to anyone. That's an awful accusation to throw at your mother. What lies are you referring to?
You're telling everyone you know that my fiancé is a high school dropout, homeless, and collecting welfare. I just ran into Aunt Shirley downtown, and the first thing she did was ask me if I'm sure I want to marry a man like that. She spent a full 5 minutes trying to convince me to break up with him thanks to you.
Oh, so that's what this is about. What's wrong with telling people the plain and simple truth about your fiancé? After all, the only kind of man dumb enough to marry a high school dropout like you must be equally as stupid as you are.
Excuse me? Did you just call me stupid? And I couldn't help but notice that was also a cruel dig at my fiancé, too.
Again, was anything I just said wrong? You did drop out of high school, and you know what they say. Like attracts like. It's only natural to assume your fiancé must be equally as uneducated, reckless, and stupid as you are.
What gives you the right to talk about my fiancé like that? You've never even met him. I'll have you know he is a kind, intelligent, hardworking, wonderful man. Not only did he not drop out of high school, he actually went to college, and he got an advanced degree.
Are you serious? Your fiancé went to college?
Why do you think I've been begging you to meet with him and talk to him personally? You don't know anything about him. But whenever I invite you over for dinner, you're always busy with one thing or another. If you're going to talk to people about him, then common courtesy dictates you should at least speak to him first.
I would never even dream of doing such a thing. Why would I go out of my way to meet with your fiancé? I don't feel like associating myself with the dregs of society. Don't forget that I've been against you getting married from the very beginning. Tying the knot before your younger sister, Luna, it's absolutely ridiculous, ludicrous, madness even. So no, I won't be meeting with any fiancé of yours when I don't even consent to the marriage in the first place.
I don't get it, Mom. It doesn't make a bit of sense. Why are you so opposed to me getting married? I mean, the simple fact that I'm several years older than Luna makes it far more likely that I get married first, statistically speaking.
Don't play dumb with me. This has nothing to do with age, and you know it. The problem is that you're a high school dropout. Your sister Luna, however, went to a prestigious university and graduated with honors. You're inferior to her in every way imaginable. How could I ever allow you to get married before her?
I am at a loss for words. I genuinely don't know what to say in response to that.
Ever since she was a small child, I always knew that Luna would grow up to be beautiful and intelligent. I'm so proud to be her mother. You, on the other hand, are an ugly high school dropout. I'm ashamed to even be associated with you. And yet you still felt like you had the right to get married before your sister. You don't deserve happiness, Melina. You don't deserve love. Luna deserves everything.
Are you joking right now? You've got some nerve to say that to me. It's not like I wanted to drop out of high school. I had no choice. And you were the one who left me with no other choice, Mom. After Dad passed away when I was a freshman in high school, we did hit some hard financial times. But then you decided that we could only afford to have one of our family members going to school. You made me drop out of high school so I could work to support the family.
What was I supposed to do? Someone had to support the family. Your father died before his career took off. He left us with absolutely nothing.
If that's really the case, then we should have at least talked everything over as a family before deciding how to move forward. But you wouldn't listen to a word I said. You made the decision completely arbitrarily and without talking to either of us. Do you remember what you said to me then? You said that a college degree would be wasted on an ugly girl like me. So you made me drop out of high school to pay for Luna's college education.
With limited financial resources, I had no choice but to spend efficiently. With beauty and brains, Luna's sure to find a husband with no trouble at all. A man with class, style, talent, and of course, tons and tons of money. Once Luna marries that wealthy man, then he'll be able to support Luna and me. And I won't have any issues with maintaining a decent lifestyle into my elderly years. I had everything planned out intricately, and it all hinged on Luna going to college instead of you.
I see. So you weren't thinking about me or Luna. You were only ever thinking about yourself. You say you're ashamed to be associated with me? Well, that makes two of us. I'm ashamed to call you my mother.
Well, to think I worked so hard to raise you all by myself, only for you to speak in such a disrespectful way to me. I hope you're not planning on receiving any sort of wedding gift from me. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't plan on me coming to your wedding at all.
You can cut the act, Mom. We both know you were never going to give us anything to begin with.
Even if you're telling the truth and really are marrying a college graduate, it still wouldn't be worth my time to attend the wedding. Nothing changes the fact that he decided to marry an ugly high school dropout. He must be hideously ugly. He's probably overweight, too. Oh, and unemployed to boot. That's the only sort of man who would choose you to spend their life with.
Hey, Ken, got a minute? I need to talk to you about the wedding. Long story short, we're not gonna need to prepare a seat for my mom at the venue.
Oh boy. I guess that means she turned you down then?
I'm sorry, I've told you about this before, but my family is, well, kind of dysfunctional. I was planning to ask that she please come when I talked to her yesterday, but we just ended up having another fight. And toward the end, she said in no uncertain terms that she had no intentions of coming to our wedding. To be really honest, though, I don't really want her to come either.
Man, I guess it is what it is. I mean, I definitely would love for her to come to such an important event, but... Well, what can you do? I know you have a messy history with your mom, and if it's just gonna cause problems, then we don't need to invite her. It's our wedding, isn't it? The most important thing is that we can make it a positive environment to celebrate with our near and dear ones.
Thank you for being so understanding, Ken.
Oh, but what about your sister? Is she coming? Your issues are just between you and your mom, right?
Oh yeah, me and my sister get along just fine. We used to hang out together all the time whenever Mom wasn't around. Honestly, it seems like life for her isn't all rainbows and unicorns either. Getting love-bombed by my mom on a daily basis is just as troublesome as getting hate-bombed. I'm pretty concerned for her the way things are. When I announced that you proposed, Mom's face turned pale as a ghost, but Luna lit up with excitement. She was so happy for me.
That's great to hear. So does that mean we can plan on her coming?
Well, I haven't told her any details about the wedding yet, just the fact that we're engaged. I've been meaning to talk to her about that sometime in the near future.
Okay. From what you're telling me, it seems like it might be for the best to wait a bit before telling her, though. The most important thing is that we can make it a positive environment to celebrate with our near and dear ones. That's a really busy time of the year for students at that college.
I guess you're right. We can put it off for a bit longer. Thanks for the advice, Ken. I love you. Talk to you later. Mom, what in the world are you doing? You said you weren't coming. We never even sent you an invitation. But now you just show up out of nowhere and barge your way in? And that's all besides the point. Why are you dressed like that?
I felt responsibility as your mother to ensure that this wedding is a total disaster. What do you think of my outfit, dear? It took me forever to put it all on, not to mention finding somewhere they sell scythes. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get your hands on a real scythe these days?
You have gone completely insane. And you mean to tell me you went out of your way to come to my wedding dressed like the Grim Reaper just to ruin my wedding? What is wrong with you?
I told you, Melina, there was no way I was ever going to allow this wedding to go forward. You have no business getting married before Luna. At first I thought it would be enough to refuse to come, but the more I thought about it, I realized that simply my opposition wouldn't be enough to get you to cancel this monstrosity of a wedding. I knew that I had to forever bury your hopes and dreams of getting married. That's why I decided to come dressed as the Grim Reaper.
I don't believe this. How could you be so opposed to me getting married, Mom? I'm your daughter. Don't you want to see your daughter find happiness?
I would love nothing more than for my superior daughter to find happiness. You, however, are an inferior product. I could never allow a failure such as yourself to be happy. The thought of such an ugly, uneducated person walking down the aisle in a beautiful white dress, grinning from ear to ear, it just makes me sick. Why should you be so happy when the more deserving people are miserable? Have you no shame?
That's my line. Are you listening to yourself?
You should live a life more fitting of someone of your stature, poor, cold, and alone. And yet you have the gall to throw such an elaborate wedding. Luna should be getting married today, not you. You don't deserve any of this, and as God is my witness, I will do everything in my power to take it all away from you.
I can't do this anymore. You've always preferred Luna over me ever since we were kids. You never cared about me. You never loved me at all. If that's how you feel about me, why can't you just leave me alone? It's no business of yours who I marry, when I marry them, and what kind of wedding I have. Stay out of my life.
It's not that I don't care. If I didn't care, then you wouldn't make me so furious as you do. You're the spitting image of your father, that useless excuse for a man. How could he go and leave me alone like this? He forced me to take on the entire burden of supporting this family by myself. And every time I look at you, I'm reminded of him and what he did to me.
Mom.
That's why it pains me so much to see you happy. That's why I have to stop this wedding. Getting married is the happiest moment in anyone's life. I remember how I felt on my wedding day. Do you see now? Do you understand why I must do what I'm doing now?
So, that's why you're doing this? That's why you've been so awful to me all these years? I always thought you were just playing favorites because Luna's prettier than I am. I'm not deluded about my looks. I'm well aware that most people would say that Luna is the prettier sister. I freely admit that she's prettier than I am. But that wasn't it, was it? It was really all because I looked like Dad. Mom, I understand you've gone through some hard times. But that's no reason for you to use me as some kind of punching bag. I don't exist for you to vent your frustrations out on. I'm a human being. I'm your daughter.
You're right about one thing. You are indeed my daughter. And as my daughter, you are what I say you are. And I say you're my punching bag.
You're the worst, Mom. You treated me like trash to try and make yourself feel better. And today you came to my wedding dressed like the Grim Reaper with a real scythe and everything just to try and ruin my chance at happiness. You're such a child, Mom. Why did Dad have to be the one to die?
Shut your mouth, little girl. You can't talk to me like that. You're nothing but an ugly high school dropout. You're a disgrace to both me and your sister. Ruining this day for you has been the most filling thing I've done in years.
I hate to interrupt your self-satisfaction, but aren't you forgetting something important?
What?
You never asked me who my fiancé was. I told Luna about him, and she's met him in person before. So I figured she would have said something to you about him. But from the sounds of things, you really don't know anything, huh? Come to think of it, I'll bet she intentionally left you in the dark.
What's going on with you, Melina? You think your husband's identity would mean anything to me? I don't care one bit about who you're marrying. You claim he went to college, but I bet it was just some community college. No man worthy of my attention would ever marry an ugly high school dropout for a wife.
Well, while I did start out taking classes at a community college, my educational path didn't stop there. I went on to receive a master's degree, and I'm currently a tenure-track professor. But those qualifications aren't enough for you, Mother? My goodness, you have high standards.
What? Who is this?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Ken, and today it is my distinguished honor to receive your daughter's hand in holy matrimony. As I just mentioned, I'm currently teaching at a nearby university. I think you may have heard of it, considering it's the university that your other daughter, Luna, is attending.
You're a college professor? And at Luna's school, but that's the most prestigious university in the state.
Well, in all fairness, I was only hired this school year, so I'm new on campus. However, in that short time, I just so happened to have met Luna multiple times. Twice a week, to be precise, she's enrolled in one of my classes. She always sits in the front row and is very attentive. Most of my students are constantly fiddling with their phones during class, but not her.
This can't be happening. You're a college professor and Luna is one of your students? But, if you really have the qualifications that you say you do, then why would you even consider marrying Melina? I shouldn't have to tell you that she's ugly, but are you aware she's a high school dropout? Someone of your caliber shouldn't be wasting your time with an imbecile like her.
Yes, I'm aware of Melina's educational history. I disagree wholeheartedly on your assessment of her appearance and intelligence, however. Frankly, educational attainment is a horrible measure of a person's cognitive capacity. I can't begin to tell you how ungifted some of the people I have to deal with at the university are.
What?
Melina, however, is incredibly gifted, particularly in foreign languages. Did you know she's fluent in Spanish, French, and Mandarin? She makes great use of those skills in her work, too. Honestly, she's one of the most intelligent, hardworking people I've ever known.
But I don't remember her ever studying foreign languages. How could she speak all those languages without even finishing high school?
It seems you're not aware of much of anything at all that Melina has done with her life. She's the international liaison officer for a major trading company. It's her responsibility to translate during international meetings between the company's branches in Los Angeles, Madrid, Paris, and Beijing. Ordinarily, a company would have to hire at least one person per language, but she handles it all by herself.
I had no idea.
It's precisely those language skills that brought us together. You see, there was recently a major development in my field at a university in France. Unfortunately, however, I don't speak French. That's where Melina came in. It wasn't even in a field that she was an expert in, but she translated the entire paper in an afternoon. The way she was so willing and eager to take on a new challenge was completely enrapturing. I fell in love at first sight.
With her?
I invited her out on a date after that. Eventually, we became officially a couple, and just a few months ago, I asked her to be my wife. I've been looking forward to our wedding for so long, and Melina was doubly as excited. And yet, you, Melina's own mother, came out here today on a mission to crush her happiness. Ma'am, I'm not quick to be incensed. I like to think I'm one of the more level-headed people I know, but even I am struggling to rein in my anger right now.
Listen, Professor, I would like to apologize for everything I've said. Oh my goodness, I had no idea a person such as yourself would be interested in someone like Melina. And not only that, you're Luna's professor as well. I'm so ashamed. I'm going to go change into proper attire now. I'll be back in a moment.
Waste your time. We never prepared a place for you today anyway. Leave immediately. You are not welcome here.
What?
Let me make myself crystal clear. If you do not leave the premises within 3 minutes, I will call the police. Also, you should know that our university has a world-class law school. I know many of the world's best lawyers on a first-name basis. I will force you to take responsibility for what you've done here today. That I can promise you.
I'm leaving right now. I'm very sorry for everything. Melina, you owe me an explanation. Why didn't you ever tell me about Ken? I had no idea he was a college professor. I just humiliated myself thanks to you.
Thanks to me? Nah, you did a good enough job of humiliating yourself without any help from me at all. And please, I tried to tell you about Ken so many times. I've been trying to get you to come and meet him for the last several months. But you refused to meet him, and you ignored or denied everything I told you about him.
Hush, you! You could have tried much harder to introduce him to me. Oh, for the love of... I'll have to go and apologize to Ken immediately. I still can't believe he was Luna's professor. Maybe if I butter him up enough, he might give up his silly pursuit of you and marry Luna instead.
I don't believe you. You're still just thinking about using Luna's life as your retirement plan.
Nonsense! I'm doing this for Luna. The fact that I'll benefit is merely a pleasant side effect. A man like him deserves a woman like Luna on his arm. I need to call Luna, too, so we can schedule a strategy planning session. She's going to be so happy when she hears I've found a husband for her.
No, I don't think she's going to be so eager to take you up on that. She's already married.
What? Luna is married?
As expected, you are completely oblivious. You've showered her with affection every day of her life, but you never asked her if she had a boyfriend?
Melina, what are you talking about? What do you mean Luna's married? That can't be.
It totally can, actually. She just got married a few weeks ago.
No!
Luna had a big midterm exam a while back, but she was absent that day. Ken was concerned about her since he'd never seen her miss a single class. That made me worried too, so I gave Luna a call and she spilled the beans to me. It turns out that she was pregnant and felt too sick to get out of bed that morning. Furthermore, she was considering dropping out of school completely to get married.
She's pregnant? Oh no.
Yeah, I was surprised at first too. Then I went over to see her, and sure enough, she had grown a bit rounder in her face and waist. At that point, she was about 5 months pregnant.
No, Luna. Oh, my darling, sweet Luna. She was my everything, my hopes and my dreams. And now, oh, my dreams have been crushed to pieces.
She told me that she was sick and tired of everything. All the affection and attention you had heaped on her had become a massive amount of pressure. She did what you asked of her and got into that prestigious university, but she hated every single day of it. It was around that time when she met a nice guy, started dating him, and eventually got pregnant.
This is the worst day of my life.
Yeah, this is precisely the response she was afraid of. She was so afraid of what you'd say if she came out and told you the truth, so she hid her pregnancy from you. I was the first person other than her boyfriend that she had even told about being pregnant.
Where is Luna right now? Tell me. Oh, she can't be pregnant as a college student. I won't allow it. I'll also have to go and examine this boyfriend of hers to see if he's up to snuff. If she met him at her university, then there's a good chance he's exactly the kind of man I'm looking for. If he's gotten my precious Luna pregnant, then he's going to have to take responsibility by paying for my living expenses.
Yep, that's exactly what Luna thought you'd say, and that's exactly why she dropped out of college. She's already moved in with the baby's father.
What? She dropped out?
Looks like Luna finally had enough of you, Mom. She said that she was sick and tired of doing what you say. She'd been pushing herself to limit every single day of her life and couldn't handle it anymore. Now she just wants to enjoy a quiet, peaceful life with her husband and their baby.
No. So you're telling me the truth then? She really dropped out of college? How could she do that without talking to me first?
Do I really need to answer that question? She had enough of your advice, so she came to me for help instead. I told her what you should have told her years ago, that her life is her own and no one else's. For her part, Luna felt awful about going to college while I was forced to drop out of high school. But honestly, dropping out was the best decision I've ever made. It freed me up to learn about what's really important in life rather than what they shove down your throat in school. When I told her that, it was all the encouragement she needed to walk straight to the administration office and drop out.
This is terrible. So where is she now? Do you know?
Nope, she didn't tell me, and I didn't ask. She sent me an envelope with a card congratulating me on my wedding, but there was no return address on it.
She can't do this to me. Oh, my sweet, precious Luna. She had everything. Looks, brains, style. I poured everything I had into her. What am I supposed to do now? I'm all alone.
Yeah, your big retirement plan hinged on Luna marrying a rich guy after all. But since Luna's out of the picture now, you'll just have to figure something out for yourself. And with that, I'm taking my leave from this conversation.
Melina, wait. You weren't my first choice, but with Luna gone, well, beggars can't be choosers. Now you can be my favorite daughter.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry for being so cruel to you up until now. I just had no idea what a bright, intelligent, hard-working woman you were. How about we just forget about all our nasty pain and come together as a family again? I know. How about you and Ken take me out to dinner one of these nights?
Not a chance. You're way, way too late to have this change of heart.
But, I'm sincere about this, Melina. I want to make it up to you. We've got a lot of lost time between us as mother and daughter, dear. It's not too late to repair our relationship.
Yes, it is. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a mother. You're dead to me.
Melina, don't say that, please.
You have only yourself to blame for this. You've been the absolute worst mother in the world to me ever since Dad died. Come to think of it, I don't even remember you being kind to me while Dad was still alive. So no, it is most assuredly too late for you to start trying to be my mom again.
I know things have been difficult between us, but time heals all wounds. Let's give it some time, okay? I'm begging you, Melina. Without you, I have nothing left.
That's your problem, not mine. Maybe you should have thought twice before coming to my wedding dressed like the Grim Reaper.
Oh, that was just a joke. I was trying to be funny.
No one's laughing, Mom. Never contact me again. I won't even come to your funeral when you finally die. My mom tried to contact me a bunch of times after that, but I eventually got sick of it and blocked her number, so that was the end of that. I heard from my relatives and neighbors that she had gone around begging for any information on Luna's whereabouts. But they knew exactly what Mom had been doing to both me and her since our dad died, so none of them were willing to give up any of the little information they had. I don't blame them either. Mom always paraded her around like a new sports car or something. She only ever saw Luna as a designer purse, never as a daughter. Actually, I take that back. She also saw her as a walking, breathing retirement account. While I don't know where she's living, I still keep in touch with my sister. It's so nice to have Mom out of both of our lives now. She used to dominate every conversation, but now she's not even an afterthought. The baby's gonna be born soon, and both she and her husband are more excited than they have ever imagined they would be. I know just what a hardworking, intelligent, and positive girl Luna is, so I know she's gonna be a fantastic mother for that baby. I'm looking forward to having a similar sort of family life here with my husband Ken, too.
Lori, are you there? I just wanted to extend a huge congratulations to you today again. You and my little Thomas looked so amazing today. It really was enough to bring a tear to my eye. Several, actually. But I'm so happy that you two are finally married.
I know, right? It really was just such an amazing wedding. Everything went just as I imagined it. You know, it was actually Thomas and I that came up with the design scheme for the whole thing. So that makes me even more happy that you enjoyed the wedding since I did so much to help plan it.
Wait a second. You mean that you and Thomas came up with that decoration all by yourselves?
Yeah, we wanted to save money where we could, and I already kind of had a vision. We were even the ones who put the decorations up. We tried to do everything that we could by ourselves to save money.
But I'm a little confused. I gave you guys $100,000 to use on the wedding, but you still tried to cut costs down?
Yeah, pretty much. Weddings are expensive.
Right, but you two came to me when you got engaged and cried about how you didn't have any money at all for a wedding. You said you wanted to make it as grand as it could be, and so I offered to give you $100,000. But you're still telling me that that money wasn't enough for the wedding?
Well, I guess things were just a lot more expensive than we originally thought. You know how bad the inflation is. So by the time we got everything that we wanted, we were already over budget.
I see, but I guess you did throw a spectacular wedding, I have to say that much. Although, if I'm being honest, it didn't feel like a $100,000 wedding. I mean, the food was kind of bland and there weren't many options for drinks. No, something isn't right here. I want you to come out and tell me the truth about your wedding right now.
I told you that we used all the money already. Who cares how we spent it? You gave it to us to help celebrate, and we spent it on ourselves. Isn't that enough? You really can't give someone a gift and then get mad when they use it however they want.
Are you kidding me? It wasn't a gift for you two to spend on whatever you wanted.
Are you seriously doing this to me right now on my own wedding day? I can't believe that you are seriously trying to ruin my day right now. Here I thought we were going to be able to get along, but you're just being a jerk. You really need to watch your mouth and think about how you talk to me now that I'm married to your son.
Excuse me? You can't be serious. Are you really mad at me for asking a few questions about what you spent all that money on? I mean, I gave you that money for your wedding. I really don't think that you get to be mad at me for being a little surprised to find out that you didn't use it for that is all.
Just shut up already, you annoying old hag. If you're going to keep bugging me about this, then I just won't ever talk to you. I already hate having to communicate with you as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to enjoy my honeymoon.
So you're really just going to run away from this? I don't believe you, Lori.
Hey there, Jenny. Did you finally get over yourself yesterday?
Are you really greeting me like this after what you said to me yesterday? I thought I wasn't going to be hearing from you for a while.
Well, I got a good night's sleep, and now I'm recharged and ready to deal with you. Actually, the thing is that there is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Do you have the time to chat?
I have a really bad feeling of whatever it is that you're going to say next. So if you wouldn't mind just cutting straight to the point, that would be great.
Right, well, the thing is that Thomas and I are going to be moving into your house. So would you mind moving out of there by this weekend, please?
Hold on a second. You and my son are going to be moving into my house and you want me to move?
Well, duh, we're married, so the next thing we have to do is find a place to live and then get a new car, too. Thomas and I talked and we agreed that since things are a little tight right now, we could just take your house instead of worrying about finding a new one.
You're just going to take my house? I don't even know how to respond to that. And this is supposed to be different from the two of you just coming to live with me?
Live with you? No. I do not want to be sharing a home with you one bit. The only people who are going to be living there are going to be Thomas and I, got it? We don't need or want you there, so go ahead and pack your bags and leave.
So you're really being serious about this then? You're being ridiculous.
Well, I know that your husband died a long time ago, so it's not like you can really say that you need all that space yourself, right? I'm sure that house is way too big for just you.
It is true that I have a lot of rooms that I'm not using, but since that's the case, I don't see why you both can't just come and live with me.
Because I already told you that I don't want to live with you, and I'm sure that you don't want to live with me. We just won't get along, so if we're both in the same house, then one of us will have to go. And since you were probably going to leave the house to Thomas in your will anyways, you can just do us a favor and give it to us now.
And just who said that Thomas was going to get the house? I never ever said anything like that to him.
Well, sure, but he's your eldest child. Who else would get the house? His sister Maggie moved out too, so you don't have anyone else to give the house to anyways. I don't really see what the problem is if we ask to live there a bit earlier.
You two can really only think of yourselves, can't you? You really think you can just kick me out of my house like this? Have you even thought of where I might be able to go if I were to up and move out of here for you two?
No, not really. I haven't given that any thought at all. I don't really care where some old bag of bones like you goes, to be perfectly honest. Maybe you could go and rent some tiny little apartment or something.
And if I go and do that, are you two going to be paying my rent on the place? That's the least you could do if you're getting a whole house out of this.
You really think that we're going to do anything to help you out? No, that is not going to happen. You should still have some money that your husband left you when he died. Why don't you just use that? Oh, go and live with Maggie or something like that.
So you're just going to kick me out of my own home and you don't care at all what happens to me next? Why should I move out and give you the house then? This whole conversation is just ridiculous.
You have to move out though. We've already decided we're moving in and we've canceled the lease to our place. We've already started packing our bags and putting things in boxes, so you have to be out of the house by this weekend.
You really expect me to just go along with this? Have you lost your mind?
You will leave the house. If you don't, then we'll have to take matters into our own hands, and you won't like that. Okay, I guess if you really want to live with us in your house, then you can. But you have to pay us rent.
Excuse me, I am going to have to pay you two rent? You really just don't know when to quit, do you?
Well, if you don't want to pay rent, then you can move out of the house. How about that? You were going to leave it to your son anyways, so just leave. I feel like I'm giving you plenty of options here. It isn't my fault if you're going to be unreasonable and turn them all down.
You call those options? Both of those are just terrible, and you didn't consult me about any of this beforehand. Just how much would you be charging me for rent anyways?
I was afraid that you would try to take me up on that. But if you want to keep living in your house with Thomas and I, you'll have to pay us $2,000 a month.
You're going to charge me that much money just to live in my own house?
That's right. If you pay us $2,000 a month, then I'll let you live with us. If you have a problem with that, then you know what your other option is.
I would rather not have to live with you at all, if I'm being honest.
So then you're going to move out for us? Great! Just make sure you're out of the house by this weekend. Maybe you could go and ask Maggie if you can live with her.
Maggie, are you there? I'm really sorry to ask this so suddenly of you, but could I maybe stay with you for a few days? I've been kicked out of my own house.
Wait, what? Mom, what do you mean by that? What happened?
Well, I got some messages from Lori, and she was telling me that her and Thomas couldn't afford moving into a new place, so she said they were taking over my house. She told me that I was going to give the house to Thomas anyways, so I might as well just do it earlier.
And you just handed them the house without a fight? Why would you do that, Mom?
Because I have had just about enough of these two. I just didn't want to deal with them anymore, and so I gave them what they wanted. But now I'm working on getting Thomas completely removed from my will.
You're going to cut Thomas out of your will? Are you sure about that, Mom?
That's right. If Thomas wasn't going to stick up for me and put his crazy wife in her place, then I don't need him. Anyways, I know it's last minute, but could I please stay with you for a while? I really never thought that I would be in this position, and yet here I am. I know that your husband is away on a business trip right now, so if I could just stay with you until he gets back, I would really appreciate it.
Mom, of course you can come and stay with us. That's not a problem at all. In fact, I was actually starting to feel a bit lonely without my husband around. I'll talk to him and explain what's happening.
Thank you so much. I feel so bad for dropping it on you so suddenly like this, but I still just have so much I have to deal with on my end.
Of course. Well, you feel free to come here, settle down, and take care of whatever business you have. And if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. If you're cutting off Thomas for this, then I think that I should too.
Are you sure about that? He is your brother, after all. You don't have to do that just because I am.
I know, but you know that Thomas and I have never gotten along, really. He would always act so entitled just because he was older. You know, he even bragged to me about how he was going to inherit the house and would always lord it over me. Honestly, I think he and Lori are perfect for each other, and I mean that in the worst way. They've both been awful to me.
You mean that Lori has said mean things to you as well?
That's right. She came up to me after her wedding and told me that she was going to do everything in her power to make sure I would inherit nothing. She said she was going to make it so that Thomas would get everything.
And just who does she think she is to be making these kinds of decisions?
Well, I guess she thinks that because she's married to the eldest child in our family that she has some rights to our stuff. I've actually been thinking of cutting those two out of my life for some time now, to be perfectly honest.
I see. Well, if we're both on the same page, that is good news at least. Anyways, I'll pack up my things and head over to your place soon.
Hey there, Jenny. You know, I had no idea that your house was this musty before coming here. I have no idea how you expect Thomas and I to live comfortably in a place like this.
Are you really complaining about the house that you just stole from me? You two said you couldn't even afford your own place, and you have the nerve to complain about my house?
Don't start getting so upset just because we kicked you out. I already told you, you were going to give up this house anyway, so what's the point in getting mad? But I suppose Thomas and I have our work cut out for us in terms of renovating this place. So anyways, if you could go ahead and send us around $100,000 so that we can start that process, that'd be great.
What? You really think that I'm going to give you another $100,000 after what you did to me? You really must be delusional.
But this house is so old, it just won't do it all. Besides, your eldest child is living here. Don't you want him to be comfortable with his wife and future kids? Hurry up and cough up the money.
I don't even know what to say to that. You really have gone crazy if you think that you can order me around like this.
I want to hear less complaining and more money going into my bank account. Got it? If you do that, we'll let you come over and see what we've done to the place afterwards, okay?
I seriously have no words for you.
Well, how about, yes, Lori? There's 2 words that you could say to settle this whole thing. You were never going to give this house to Maggie or anyone else. It was always going to be ours anyway. The least you could do is help us make it into our dream home.
And you think that I should just happily go along and give you all the money you want?
Well, if you don't give me the money, then you can kiss ever seeing your son or me again goodbye. You'll have no one to count on but Maggie, do you understand? So if you want some insurance for your old age, you'll pay up what we're asking.
I actually don't think I will. In fact, I don't even want to see either of you. So you aren't going to get a single cent from me.
Wait, what? What is this? What are you getting at?
I mean that I wouldn't give you the money anyways because it's a rental, and you'd be an idiot to try and renovate the place.
Wait, what? What do you mean this is rental? Are you serious?
That's right, but I guess you two didn't even think to check about that. You just went along with this idiotic plan of yours. Anyways, I wipe my hands of both of you. Good luck with everything.
Oh, wait, just hold on for a second. What do you mean a rental? We're in a house. Have you just been renting this place? I thought that this was your family home or something like that, but you've actually just been renting it?
Well, it is our family home, but I was renting it from Maggie. I had already given her the house, you see, and I was paying rent to her to let me live there.
Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you'd already given the house away? But Thomas and I knew nothing about that at all.
Well, I gave the two of you $100,000 for your wedding, right? That was basically Thomas's entire inheritance. I also wanted to make sure that Maggie got something of equal value, so I gave her the house.
Oh, wait, the money for the wedding was Thomas's inheritance?
Well, Maggie had actually been wanting to move to a new place with her husband, but then he was sent on that long business trip. She had been so busy that she couldn't even think about trying to find a new home. I told her that she could have my home, and when her husband came back, she could sell the house and use it for her new one.
No, you've got to be kidding me. That can't be right.
But you were right about the house being too big for me. I was going to move into a smaller apartment, but Maggie said it was fine if I lived with her until her husband returned. Although she told me that since there were new tenants in her home, that she was going to start charging rent more seriously. You'll both owe her $1,500 a month.
Wait, what? You mean that she was charging you even less than that? But she can't charge us for rent. We're her brother and sister-in-law.
I'm afraid that Maggie doesn't see how that changes anything.
But why? I don't understand.
I heard from Maggie about all the horrible things that you told her. Did you really think that she was just going to let you live there for free after that?
But $1,500 a month is way too much for this place. I mean, the average market rate for houses around here is only $800 a month.
Well, I suppose it might be a bit above market rate, but she does own the house, so she has the right to make the rules. If you have a problem with it, take it up with her.
You can't do this to us. It isn't fair. You have to do something. You're the mom. You can put a stop to all of this.
You two really do just care about yourselves, don't you? You're more than happy to insult the people you should be getting along with until you need help. I don't have time for this nonsense.
What do you mean? It isn't nonsense. This is our lives that we're talking about here.
I see. Well, if you don't like it, you can always just move out, you know. It's that or pay rent every month. The choice is yours.
Mom, how could you do this to us? Why aren't you doing more to help us? I mean, I thought I was supposed to get this house. You already gave it to Maggie, and you're really going to let her charge us rent? That's absurd!
I'm sorry, but weren't you two asking me to pay $2,000 a month to live there? You're getting a discount from where I'm standing.
But, I mean, that was just for you. We just charged you so that you would choose to move out instead.
Okay, now repeat what you just sent me one more time to yourself, and I think you'll understand what's going on. But honestly, I am ashamed of you, Thomas. How could you do something like this to your own mother?
But the house was going to be mine anyways, and we really needed a place to stay. You aren't really going to cut us off, are you?
I'm afraid that I've made up my mind, and I don't want anything to do with you or Lori ever again. I gave you plenty of money for your wedding, and not only did you lie to me about how you spent it, but you had the gall to ask me for more after kicking me out. I really don't care at all what happens to the two of you from here on out. You both are on your own.
Please, Mom! Things weren't supposed to happen like this. What about when you're old and you need to call on me for help?
You think that I would ever want to call on you for help when I get old? I have more than enough saved up to afford a decent nursing service. I don't need you. In fact, I never ever want to hear from you again. Do you understand me?
Are you happy now? Thomas and I decided that we can't afford to live in that house any longer. But since this was all your fault, the least you can do is give us money to find a new place.
There you go again, trying to make demands of me.
Well, I am still your daughter-in-law, and you really did us dirty. You need to compensate us for all that you've put us through.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Please, it would be different if Thomas had a good job, but he just quit his last one and he hasn't had any luck finding work. We really are on a tight budget and we need your money.
So my idiot son quit his job for some reason and you think that's my problem? I'm sorry, but you two are on your own.
You can't be serious about that. We're begging you here.
Well, then you are wasting your breath because you are not going to be getting a cent from me. I've already made that very clear. Now, if you don't have anything else to say, I think that this conversation between us is over. Have a nice life. In the end, I heard that Thomas and Lori had to move into a tiny apartment and are doing their best to pinch every penny they have. It was only later that I learned they spent about half the money I gave them for the wedding on slot machines, if you can believe it. They actually spent so much money that they went into debt. Thomas tried reaching out to Maggie to beg her to tell him where I was living, but she pretended like she had no clue and told him she couldn't get a hold of me either. Thanks to my smart daughter, I can finally enjoy my old age in quiet peace.
I cannot believe this. Making a brand new house for all of us to live in without talking to me? If you go through with finishing that place, we are most definitely not going to move in with you.
Huh?
You really are an airheaded mother-in-law. No matter how many times your daughter-in-law tells you she won't live with you guys, you still manage to go ahead and make a house for everyone. If having that house ready for all of us to move in is your battle plan, then it's not going to make me be defeated.
Maddie, I'm a little concerned by what you might be confused by. This larger house wasn't built with you guys in mind, you know.
Huh?
We've decided to live together with my second oldest son and his wife. And so that's why he had our house remade into a much larger and spacious home. It wasn't that our previous house couldn't be lived in by all of us, but we all decided that we want a house large enough for us to all have a bit of privacy. And so we did our best to build a brand new and amazing house.
What? So, you plan to just overlook your oldest son and his wife and live together with your second oldest instead?
Overlook you guys? I'm pretty sure that you did say that you never wanted to live together with us, right? So I don't understand why you are complaining even more over this choice.
I understand that, but
And to be honest, I don't really want to have you living together with us either. And now that you guys don't have to live here, you both can relax a little knowing you won't have to care for us.
excuse me?
I'm sorry, but you never seemed to really like me. And during the holidays, you and my son never came home to celebrate with us. Yet you both had the courage to ask us to give your kid $1,000 in money for Christmas. I really am sorry, but I cannot see myself ever wanting to live with either of you.
Well, I'm sorry for you, Beth, that you think your oldest son and his wife have to come back to your place for the holidays every year, because we sure don't have to. But you must understand that we have a daughter now who is your grandchild. And as the grandparents, it's your guys' job to spoil her and make her as happy as she can be.
And that's the whole reason we come over there frequently to play with her. We never get to see you guys when the rest of the family is here, so we make up for that by coming your guys' way. But you only ever give us about 10 minutes within your house before you both kick us out. So how are we supposed to make her happy if you never let us near her for long enough? Your father-in-law and I are at our limits with the way you two have acted and treated us.
Huh? Why are you starting to get all mouthy towards me? This is one of the reasons why I hate you as my mother-in-law. Ugh, I feel so bad for your second oldest wife, Margaret. The fact that she has to start living with a woman that will bully her every day.
Say whatever pleases you, Maddie. But just be aware that us building this new house is not for you two, so you can both calm down now. Now goodbye.
Beth, if I begin to live with you, does that mean you are going to start picking on me and making me feel bad? Are you really planning on doing to me what you've done to Maddie?
Huh? I would never do something like that to you, Margaret. And what do you mean I've been picking on Maddie?
Well, she just spoke to me a little bit ago. And that's when she sent me a huge 5-gigabyte file over the phone. And she told me in that file I'd find all I need to believe that you have been bullying her. She then told me to read and look at it all and then rethink coming to live with you guys.
A 5 GB file, huh? She really ended up using that much of her data for no reason then?
I took a quick look at all of it, but I don't really think what all she's saying is true. But yet again, there are things in there that do concern me a bit, so I have to ask. Do you plan on picking on me the way you do with her?
I'm telling you that I have no reason to do that to you. Why would I ever want to pick on you or do anything mean when we finally come this close to living together?
That's what I thought. And when I think of you, all I can think of are really good things. And is it true that Maddie really is that strange of a woman, then? I just wonder because it seems she really has it out for you. Did something happen in the past to make her that upset?
When it comes to that, it's really nothing. I think that she just has a fight to pick with me for just being her mother-in-law.
Huh? So for no reason, she just hates you?
Well, you've heard on the news and such before that things like this happen all the time between mothers and their daughters-in-law. And I think in her mind she believes that I'll be the same way to her, hence why she's so aggressive towards me. She thinks that all mother-in-laws are out to get her. But I suppose she is the wife to my oldest son. He probably allows all this to happen without ever stopping her from thinking such things.
Wow. And so you think that's the only reason she's that upset with you all the time?
Well, when I asked my son about it, he told me that a lot of her friends have had bad experiences with their mother-in-laws. And so I'm pretty sure that because of their experiences, she expects the same thing from me. I really do want to become close family with her, but no matter what I try and do, she never wants to see me as a friend. At first, she was nice to me and me to her, but then soon after, she began accusing me of bullying her.
Wow. That's all a total waste of being a happy family. I think that you're one of the kindest mother-in-laws a woman could ask for. I guess she really just wants to cause problems, though, huh?
Saying that I'm nice. After having to talk to Maddie, that makes me feel so happy inside. But you don't have to be so kind to me.
But I'm not trying to just make you happy. I was even a bit worried about what it'd be like having in-laws, but because of how kind you've been to me, I don't feel any anxiety when I'm around you at all.
Well, I'll do my best to continue making you feel comfortable in our family. I'm sure that when we start living together, there will be a little stress between us and all.
Well, that's what happens, right? But I ask that you don't worry about us too much while we're there and that you just relax. We'll all work really hard together to make living with one another as fun as possible.
That house looks even more beautiful than I was imagining. All of the yard and everything is looking perfect as well. Could that all be because you have Margaret around to help? If she's the kind of girl that loves making the house look beautiful, her and I could become even closer to one another.
Maddie? You're complimenting our yard and house? Does that mean you've come over to see the new house?
I have, and I came all the way here on an airplane. I heard from Trevor that you guys had completed the house just yesterday.
And that's nice and all of you to come from so far to see us, but we haven't even begun to move into there just yet. And just coming over without mentioning anything to us is a bit rude. That place isn't the house we used to all live in, as it's now become the home of my second oldest and us.
No, actually, starting today, we plan to live here as well. And that shouldn't be a problem for you at all, right, Beth?
Excuse me? Does that mean that after all this time you finally want to live with us?
Seriously? This has nothing to do with me wanting to live together with some jerk of a mother-in-law. Starting today, the oldest brother and his wife will live together with his younger brother and wife. Both you and your husband can go ahead and rent a small apartment nearby.
Huh? And why exactly do my husband and I have to be the ones to leave the new house? We built that place specifically for us and my second oldest. What is wrong with you coming here unannounced and telling us to get out of there? I do not like that you're acting this sporadic.
I'm not being sporadic in any way, Beth. I'm just doing exactly as I want. Actually, don't you think my plan is pretty dang smart of me? The older and younger brothers living together under one roof with their wives. Doing it that way would mean that we can all support one another and bundle our earnings together.
What?
I made sure a while back to advise Margaret to rethink living together with her in-laws. But I'm not sure if she understood what I meant and said that she was totally fine living with you. She never wanted to live together with you guys, yet kept it a secret and tried her best to fake the want to.
And that's probably just what you want to believe? Her and I have talked about this at least a dozen times, and each time she's been so happy over the idea of living together.
Well, unfortunately for you, she was just trying to be nice to you since you're her mother-in-law. But she knows well enough that living with us both instead of you guys is far more stress-free and fun. Unlike an old bag, her and I are closer in age, so we won't have to worry about differences in the way we think. And I know that she will be much happier to live like that instead of having to worry about you.
But you still don't know that, right? Now, I've had enough talking, so hurry up and get out of that house. I'm telling you right now that I'm almost past my limit here.
Stop all of that, Beth. Don't be so upset that you'll no longer have a daughter-in-law to bully anymore.
Huh?
That's right! I was going to let you know about this sooner or later, but I still expect you to be the one to pay off the loan on the house for us. Understand that neither us or your second oldest and his wife will pay a dime for the place.
Excuse me? Not only are you saying that you'll steal that house, but you want me to pay for it all on my own?
But we're being kind by just letting you and your husband live nearby to your sons and their wives, right? And so, a way of saying thanks. You should pay that loan off for us. Now, if anything were to happen to either one of you, you can run over to us to take care of you.
Then let me ask this. If I were to be in trouble, would you guys actually try and help me? My husband and I have gotten a lot older, and so our legs are not as great as they used to be. We already have to go to the hospital at least once a month for checkups and such. Does this mean that you'd be willing to at least stop by once a month to take us in?
Huh? Why the hell would I ever do such meaningless crap? If you have such bothersome crap like that, then you're better off asking Margaret to take care of you. And if she says no to you, ask your second oldest. And if he says no, ask your oldest. And if we are all saying no, ask someone that lives close by to you. And if all of them say no to you, then maybe, just maybe, I'll be willing to come help you out.
So in other words, you won't do jack for us. Why do you keep beating around the bush so much about the truth, Maddie? I don't have any more patience with you, so hurry up and leave our house. I'm not going to give that house we worked so hard on to the both of you.
Why say all those awful things when I've already said that we're living here and that's final? If you think that you can continue to get away with picking on me, then I might just happen to divorce your son. Is that what you want from me?
Huh? You want to divorce him now?
With how far out in the countryside we live right now, me leaving him over this would be an embarrassment to your whole family. Especially after we already agreed that we'd be the ones living here with your second oldest and his wife. But after trying to be so nice about this, you've really hurt me with your words. I might just leave him now. Then that would mean you never even get to meet your granddaughter ever again.
So you think that's the best way to threaten us right now?
You're going to give this house to me and your oldest now, right? If you don't, I'll be divorcing your oh-so-important oldest son.
Right now, we're going to hand in the divorce forms.
Huh?
Thank goodness I was able to talk with Trevor so quickly. While I was talking with you on here, I decided to contact him about this. Apparently, he had no clue that you were trying to do such a thing with our house. He said he'd hurry up and handle everything for me now that he's aware you've gone off the deep end. But before that happens, the divorce forms will be handed in.
Huh? Why the hell would you guys hand that stuff in?
Because we have all had enough of your crap, Maddie. Even Trevor told me that he just can't deal with all your shenanigans anymore. He really told me that he never noticed how crazy you've been until now. He told me that he had already been preparing for the divorce as well.
What's so crazy about someone like me? I was the one that came up with that genius idea to take the house from you and live together here with your second oldest and his wife. If anything, I should be regarded as the intelligent one compared to all of you.
Someone that actually happens to be intelligent would never try to steal someone else's house from them. Just know that you have now gone and disrespected everyone in my family.
I have not disrespected anyone, including you. If anything, I've done my best to put up with you picking on me. Yet now you all act like Trevor and I need to be divorced?
I understand that you don't want to be bullied by your mother-in-law. When I married my husband, I had a lot of problems between his mom and I. But in your case, when you say you've tried your best, you've been wasting all your energy on nothing. Maybe it's time you settle down and realize that.
Huh? And how am I wasting my energy on trying to avoid your bullying? I wanted to make sure that I was far away from you so that I wouldn't have to be picked on anymore. And I'll continue to do that now. So expect to only see your grandbaby every couple of years now. I had done so well trying to let you live close to us and all.
Are you seriously saying that you did so well?
I am. If I let myself continue to be harassed by you, then I will have lost. That's why I'm not going to let a divorce happen after all the effort I've put in staying away from you. I'm betting that your second oldest and Margaret would be happy to live with me and Trevor. I was so generous for thinking a plan up to make sure that they didn't have to live with a daughter-in-law abuser. So why can't you just understand what I've put so much of my intelligence into?
We're not happy at all about whatever plan you made. And actually, what about you is so amazing and smart?
Huh?
It's been a long time, Maddie. This would be Margaret. I have been sitting with Beth looking at all your guys' conversation, and things seem to have gotten pretty wild.
Margaret? So, you've been with Beth this whole time, huh? Well, this is your chance right now. Tell her right now with all your heart that you've never wanted to live together with her. And let her know how much you've been wanting to live with us instead.
I want to live with Beth, though. Actually, if anything, living with you and Trevor would be absolutely impossible for me.
What?
As a wife to this family myself, I can understand the fears you have. But getting this out of hand over something that's never existed is a huge waste of what could have been a happy family with all of us. Which is crazy because Beth is such a nice person to us all.
What are you talking about, Margaret? Didn't you take a look at that file I sent you? That was supposed to help you understand how awful things would be with Beth. You know dang well that living with us would be a way better time than those two. We would be able to support one another equally, and I'd even be happy to help you when you're in need.
Can you explain to me how you'd help me? Please list off to me all the merits we'd have by living with you.
Huh? I shouldn't have to tell you all of that, right? You should already know. For example, when we both have kids of our own, we can leave them together with one of us as the other has some time to themselves. Also, we'd be able to put all our incomes together to afford even nicer things.
In other words, you guys would be asking us to take care of your kid while you both take time to relax. But I'm sorry to say that would only be a pain in the butt for my husband and I.
Huh?
You have said before to Beth that you both have a nice daughter that you'd want to be raised around the family, but we can tell that you guys do not do a good job raising that kid. When the kid doesn't have their way, they immediately start to get upset and cry. I have been able to meet your kid a few times, but every time we see her, she seems to get worse.
Huh? My little girl has nothing wrong with her. What's wrong with you?
Also, you said that we could all put our incomes together so that we could all afford nicer things, right? But are you actually being serious about that? I don't like it when people tell me they can do things that they obviously cannot do.
What does that mean?
Well, in your case, you're a housewife, right? As for my husband and I, we both work full-time and make a considerable amount of money per year. But in your family, it's only Trevor that works. And I've heard from him before that you guys are already living on a fine line between making it out each month with no debt and having to borrow money.
What was that?
I can expect that Trevor would be willing to work for and help us out in the case we did all live together. But when you don't have a job and barely attend to your own kids' needs, I'm not so sure. I even hear a lot of times from my husband that he asks for advice when dealing with you. I'm sorry, but I just don't see us being able to all fairly put in money to the house when you're not working and Trevor is barely making it by.
You have to be kidding, right?
So, how else could you possibly help us? Actually, it seems that you'd only want to live with us so that you could leech off our money and time. Right now, the two of us don't have kids and we are both working great jobs that we love. You must have just been thinking that by having us around, your life would be a whole lot easier, right? You saw that we would have a whole lot of merits for you, hence you wanting to live with us.
You're wrong, Margaret. Actually, I have been really worried about you. I've never once heard of a wife doing well for themselves after moving in with their in-laws.
I am thankful that you've been so worried about me, but it was all a waste. I have spoken with Beth at least a dozen times about us all living together under one roof. And she was able to give me proof that her and her husband would be able to put in just the same amount as we would into the house. We all saw that there would be more merit to living together, all four of us. And if there was ever any issues, we'd trust one another enough to be able to find a solution. And that's why we all decided to live together. But of course, when you choose to not trust anyone and have nothing to give to anyone, living under one roof with the in-laws would be impossible.
Even after all the work I put in to make sure we could live in that house together? Why are you being so harsh to me?
Listen to yourself.
Huh?
I'm so sorry, Maddie. But you are an absolute piece of stinky trash. Oh, I just remembered that you'll soon be a stranger to all of us. Now, you shouldn't be as surprised by me being harsh to you because you're nothing more than an extremely crazy stranger to this family.
I don't even care anymore. If you want to talk to me like that, then go screw yourself. But if you begin to regret what all you've said to me and not choosing to live with us, don't come crying to me about it. Actually, I hope that Beth does harass the hell out of you for this. Hey, why are you all doing this to me? I just talked with Trevor and he really was serious about divorcing me. And what's worse is he's planning on taking my girl from me. Why am I the one that has to end up in trouble?
No matter what you try and say to me, I don't care. And since you're no longer my son's wife, you're just some stranger. Goodbye now, and good luck.
Huh? Well, why are you being so straightforward with this? You're my dang mother-in-law, so hurry up and make up with me and then come help. He told me he's going to make sure he never has to see me again. So you go and tell Trevor that he needs to calm down and come back to me.
My son is very calm right now, and so I think this is him just saying he's over you.
If you go and change his mind right now, I'll make sure the two of us become friends again. I'll even have us all come over to see you during the holidays. So hurry up and do something about this.
You don't have to come see us anymore. I already have my second oldest son and his kind wife living with me, and I can see that from now on we'll be able to enjoy the holidays together every year. And by having you out of her life, I think your daughter will begin to behave a whole lot better. Right now, she may have a bit of a temper, but I'm sure that we still have enough time to raise her right.
Huh? So you're saying everything's fine the way it is right now? You don't see any importance in me as your son's wife?
You're not even his wife anymore, so I'm not sure what you're going on about. Now, goodbye forever. Today we'll be moving more of our stuff into this new house, so we don't have time to talk to you anymore. We were able to move into the new house without any problems, and are now all living together as one happy family. And Margaret is a great woman, just as I expected. And so, not to make ourselves be a burden to her, my husband and I have started taking training classes to make sure we stay strong and healthy as long as possible. And with us all caring about one another's needs, things work so perfectly here. And as for Trevor, he ended up renting an apartment nearby to us. And now that he has full rights to his daughter, they both live there together. It seems she's recently become better behaved and now even comes to our house all by herself to play. We've heard that Maddie has been trying her best to meet with her daughter after the divorce, but her daughter keeps telling us she doesn't want to see her. And Trevor is the same way, no longer wanting to meet with Maddie after the divorce. Sometimes there really are coincidences like this. But to think one would be me running into my older sister in the middle of the city like this?
Even I was thinking that I'd never have to see you again, Jade. As large as New York City is, I guess we both just happened to be right here at the same time.
But after seeing how healthy you're looking, Ariana, I can finally relax a little. You must have made it past being that dirty homeless woman you once were. I was honestly thinking you'd be living in the dirt and filth of New York City for the rest of your life. I was shocked to see you living the life of us normal folk. Huh? I still think about what happened 5 years ago. Especially that face you made when you found out your husband at the time, Trey, had thrown you away. Being kicked right out of the house you both had built and moved into. You were crying so hard that there were tears spilling out of literally every hole on your face.
Well, I'm sure anyone would be crying like that during those times. Having your own husband stolen from you by your little sister? I'm sure any sane person would have been shocked.
But the most entertaining part came right after that. While watching TV, there was this show about the homeless in New York. And when you had a really good look at the line of hobos at the soup kitchen, there you were. Your clothing was all in tatters and you looked dead lined up with all those druggies and forgotten veterans. When we saw you lined up like that, both Trey and myself burst out laughing.
And I'm going to assume that neither of you would be able to imagine how difficult it was for me to get back to my original life from there.
Sorry about that. But I've never had to be a hobo myself, so I would never be able to imagine such a thing. To be honest, I didn't even think someone could live their life normally after losing their house.
Don't ever talk to me again. Just from these texts we've been sending back and forth alone, my heart is starting to race again and my forehead is beginning to sweat.
What? We were finally able to meet back up after 5 years of being apart, and that's how you're going to treat me? I'm your only little sister after all, so you should be more open to me again. Oh, that's right. If you don't mind and can make it, I'd like to invite you to our next home party. Just recently, we had another house built, so we need to have a party there as well now to christen it.
You had another house built? Was the house you stole from me not good enough? You kicked me out of there 5 years ago, saying you'd be making that your guys' love nest and everything. So why do you both need to build a new house?
We've done this because we both realized the last house wasn't good enough for us. It was in a nice location and all, but having to live in the same house as Trey's ex-wife was a little tough on the heart. So Trey went ahead and had this new house built for the two of us.
You're kidding me. Then what's going to happen to the last house?
We had it demolished and sold the land back to the realty company. We made sure that the house that had all your memories with Trey could never be seen again.
What the hell, Jade? If you both were just going to end up tearing it down anyway, why did you both have to take it from me in the first place?
Oh, now that you say it that way, I suppose you're right. Sorry about that. I guess the both of us just made you homeless for no reason at all now. But of course, that was a great experience for you, so I'm sure you'll forgive us for that one. Anyway, the next time I text you will be about the home party, all right?
I heard about you from Jade. You able to crawl back out of that life as a homeless person, huh? Congratulations.
Thank you so much for taking the time to text me now. But I'm sure you have more to say to me than just congratulations, right?
Huh? There's something else I should say?
I heard about this from Jade. That house you both stole from me, you had demolished and then sold the land, right?
You want to talk about that? We were to make some decent money off that place. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it? I was the owner of that house, so there should be no problem with me having it torn down and sold.
I understand that you were the owner, but I had one request from you, right? If you guys were ever going to leave that house, to tell me about it then. I told you that if you were going to sell it, I would buy it, so don't sell it to anyone else. I asked you that so many times after you threw me away, right?
Oh, wait, what? You said all that to me?
Shut the frick up, you bastard! You knew all along what I asked from you.
You knew just how many times I told you that I wanted to keep that house if you both were going to let go of it. That house held so many memories of myself and Mickey in it. When I was single, I had always been living with Mickey. And after having lived with one another for so long, we moved into that new house with you. You knew just how many final memories I had with Mickey in that house and how important it all was to me.
Ah, now I'm starting to remember. I suppose you did say some of those things to me before you left. You wanted the house back because of your memories with that cat?
I was already sad because of the fact you both stabbed me in the back, but what really shocked me was getting kicked out of that house. That's why the whole time I was homeless, I worked my butt off to make it back to a life where I could make money again. I was planning to buy that house back from you two. Yet you both went and freaking tore that house down and sold the freaking land.
Hey, don't get so upset over it. The house is gone now. There's no going back to it.
What the hell is wrong with you? I am never gonna forgive you for that, you jerk.
I don't need your forgiveness. How you think of me literally has nothing to do with my life now. And the fact that you're turning into a witch over some memories you had with some silly cat. How can you be so attached to the memories of that cat?
Excuse me?
Why don't you just get yourself a new cat? There's no way a woman that just crawled back from being a hobo could afford to have a cat. I'm so sorry for suggesting something a lowlife would never be able to do.
This coming weekend, I'd like you to come to our house. All right, Ariana? We'll be having that party I was talking about with you a few weeks ago. We plan to have tons of really good food there for everyone to eat, so make sure that you fill up. I'm sure it will all be better than that food from that soup kitchen. I'm sorry, but I'm sure there are plenty of other people you can invite to that party. I have no interest in seeing your guys' newly built house. What was that? Could this mean that you are still upset about the fact that we tore that old house down? I heard about how you felt from Trey about that, but you need to stop crying like a baby and grow up. No matter how mad you get, there's no way you can go back in time and fix things. Huh? And really, I would like you to hurry up and come see our beautiful and high-class home we have now. I want to see the face you make when you see how luxurious this house is. I'm just shaking in my chair right now just thinking of how you'd react. If it's that luxurious that I'll be shocked that much, what house did you guys end up having built? Oh, you're wondering about that? Well, this house happened to cost us both $2 million. $2 million? You both ended up spending that kind of money on it? What do you think? That's pretty amazing, right? Not only is it crazy that we both have a house built here in New York City, but we ended up spending $2 million on it. The fact that I get to live in such a gorgeous house as this now makes me a winner. Where did the two of you end up getting that kind of money from? Even with the money from the land you sold before, there's no way you made even $1 million off that land. But here's the thing. We did make that kind of money for this new house. My husband, who I love so much, has really been moving up in his company, and that's where all this money came from as well. That all then allowed us to get this huge loan on the house and everything with no questions whatsoever. What? You're telling me Trey has been getting promoted? Trey? The guy that never once got a promotion while I was with him, and if anything got moved down in salary. For some reason, ever since we got married to one another, Trey's been fighting like a boss. He told me he wanted to show me how amazing he is, and so he started to focus all his energy into work. And because of all that energy, he was able to get promoted. And now he's working high up in that company. You're lying, right? Not at all. And not only was he able to move really high up in this company, but other companies have been calling to him as well. Companies that have been really wanting to hire him into their ranks. After being promoted so much, the fact that he's now even being asked to join other companies is amazing. When a proper woman becomes a man's wife, they will usually start to show their true strength. In other words, all that's happened is because of me. He's already chosen to join a new company now that is going to pay him even more, and he won't even have to work as much. That's why the both of us decided that it was worth it to pay $2 million for this home. Living in a really nice house like this should only make him want to work harder and make us even more money.
I see now. So that's how you ended up with a place like that.
And starting next year, he will be making another $100,000 on top of what he's already making, so we'll be frickin' rich. Oh, and of course, that's only going to be his base pay. There will also be things like bonuses and extra money coming in due to his success. We really will be making an insane amount of money with all of that.
That really is amazing of him. The fact that a man like Trey could ever get into a position like that.
Are you aware of the company Fly High USA? They happen to be at the top of the stock market right now. That's the company that's called for my husband to go work there.
What did you say?
Did you really know about that company then? Well, I suppose it isn't too strange for even someone of your class to know about them. They are ranked in the top 100 companies in the world and are moving their way up to being in the top 50. Did Trey really get asked by a company like that to go and work for them? Has he already confirmed that he'll be going to that company now? Yes, he has. He had to take one basic exam to enter the company with that interview, but he finished that like a piece of cake, he said. And since it was the company asking to hire him in the first place, that means there's no way he wouldn't be getting the job there.
No way.
And I'm sure part of all this has to do with having me as his wife. Seeing him gaining all this energy after marrying me has really got me jumping with joy. Back when I had first seen him with you, I knew he was the one for me. My heart was racing, and I thought to myself, as long as I had him, then my life would be perfect. I wouldn't have to do a thing, and I would become a celebrity. I'm just glad I was just listening to my intuition there. I made the right choice stealing a man like Trey from you, Ariana.
What? So you're telling me that you stole him from me because of that reason?
What do you mean, because of this reason? Intuition is a very important thing. Because I listened to it, I was able to get myself this man and a new house for myself. Who would have thought, though, that my sister was married to a man that could make it this far up in the world? I'm sure you are so jealous of me right now, considering my Trey is going to be making another $100,000 here soon on top of what he was already making.
That company happens to be my husband's, though.
What?
I never thought something like this could be happening. I need to go and check with him about all of this right now. Sorry, but I have to go.
Wait a second, please. What do you mean that's your husband's company? And wait, what's this about a husband? Ariana, did you get married again?
Yes, I did get married again. I can see that you probably can't believe what you're hearing right now, but while I was homeless, I ran into this wonderful man. He was one of the volunteers at that soup kitchen I'd always go to, and he and I both became really close to one another.
What? You found the man you would later marry while you were homeless?
He was such a soft and kind gentleman, and he really did his best to help cheer me on as I worked my way back into society. Then, once I had found myself a new job and got a place to live, he confessed that he loved me. Of course, I said okay to us starting to date, but after that, there were so many surprises for me. I never thought that the man working at the soup kitchen all the time as a volunteer was also the CEO of a company as large as Fly High USA.
Huh?
When I learned just how large that company is, I really started to wonder how I was so fortunate to run into a man like him.
You're lying about all of that, right? It was already hard enough for me to believe that you got married again. But the man you ended up with happens to run a company like that? And to make everything all the more crazy, that's the company that Trey will be going to?
I'm just as shocked as you are right now. That's why I need to go have a word with my husband this instant. Now that I have to run, this is goodbye, Jade.
Hey, Ariana. I already heard some things from Jay, but you really got married again? And the man you got married to happens to be the CEO of Fly High USA? So now you're the CEO's wife?
I wouldn't say that any of his responsibilities have fallen on me as his wife just yet, but yes,
He is the CEO, and I am now his wife. And to think a company like my husband's actually reached out to try and hire you.
No way. This is all a joke, right? So were you the one that went and talked to your husband and had his company turn me away from being hired now? Knocking me down like that all because of some personal issues you have? Don't you dare start screwing around with me. I was just called by the company and they told me they won't be hiring me anymore. They told me that I failed the interview and all that and can't be hired. No matter how you try and think about it, there's no way I failed. I was given that exam and interview because the company wanted someone like me. They asked me to come and join them. Are you all trying to play games with me right now by asking me to join the company and then telling me no?
Ah, I see now. So this is about what happened there.
This is definitely all because of you. You asked your husband to fail me like that and turn me away. You've really gone and done it now to me.
Hold on now, Trey. I think you're mistaken here. I'm sorry that everything lined up like this in terms of timing, making you want to blame me, but you failing that interview was not my doing. By the time I was talking with my husband about you, you had already taken your exam and interview and were chosen to be turned away because of those results.
What did you just say?
I understand that it's very upsetting to be asked to join a company only to be turned away by them after your interview with them. But that just means the company misunderstood your abilities and can't hire you based off of how you did when you came and actually spoke with the interviewer. From what my husband said, the way you behaved during that interview was awful.
Huh? The way I behaved at the interview was awful?
You seem to have thought the interview was only being done as part of the company's process and wasn't really real. But to both my husband and the HR department, that interview was very much real and being taken seriously. I get that you thought you would already be getting the job due to the company asking you to join them. But when it came to the way you communicated during that interview and you view in terms of value, you were not the person that they wanted. They wanted that interview done in order to get one last good look at you before hiring you. But you didn't take it seriously at all, and that really showed them the true Trey.
What?
Trey, you were already very late to that interview, correct? And when you arrived, you didn't even bother to apologize for being late, only replying by saying that you would already had the job, so what was the big deal? Then you never even answered any of their questions regarding the work you were doing at your previous company, all before you walked out of there saying, "See y'all later." The company's introduced many people into their ranks by asking them to join because of their skills, but they have never had someone as ignorant and rude as you end up being a part of the people they were originally wanting. This led to everyone in HR, along with my husband and his committee, to all saying no to hiring you.
You're kidding! So you're telling me it's because of my behavior that I was turned away?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. So please stop blaming me for something you did.
No. There's no way that's happening. No matter how bad my behavior was then, they were the ones that wanted to hire me. So how could they turn me down like that at the last minute?
They could do it because this is business. If they ended up hiring someone like you, then they would have to pay you close to $300,000 a year to act like a complete jerk around the office. They can't take risks like that for someone as replaceable as you.
No way.
My husband was laughing a whole lot about this. He never thought that the man who blatantly failed his interview was the same man that made me homeless. He always thought that a man who could do that to me was troubled mentally and was sure glad that your mental issues came out during that interview.
Shut the frick up. Then what the hell am I going to do now? I never thought that I'd be turned away from that company like this. I already told my previous company I'm quitting because of the new job.
You did? You haven't even confirmed yet whether or not you were getting the job at this company, yet you already went and quit your last job? Normally, you shouldn't make a move until you know you've gotten that new job, right?
But I seriously didn't think there was a chance of me not getting the job. What am I gonna do? I already went to my old boss and manager and bragged to them about the new job I'm getting. If I go back to them and say I'm not quitting after all because I got turned away, I can't be in such an embarrassing situation like that.
Well, then you'd better hurry up and find a completely new company that will hire you. I was told that plenty of other companies were also wanting to hire you, right? Hurry up and start telling them that you'll take the job and go to their interviews. Ariana, please, can you please lend me some money? I just need $30,000 from you is all. What? Right now we won't be able to pay the loan on our house. At the end of this month, we have to make another payment, yet we have nothing in our bank accounts. You're joking, right? You guys didn't even have any savings? Well, when we moved into this house, we went out and bought all of our furniture and electronics to fill the house with. We also went out and bought a brand new Ferrari. I didn't think that all of that spending would come and bite us in the butts this month. After having to pay for all of those other things, we have no money for the loan. I see. And that's your reason for wanting money from me now? Don't you think, for starters, you can pay us enough for the next couple of months to pay off some of the loan? We never thought that Trey would end up being turned away from that job at Fly High USA. He is trying so hard right now to find a new job, but he won't ever be paid in time for this next payment. That does seem pretty tough for the both of you. But I'm not handing you any money. If you are all out of money, then go find yourselves a loan shark or someone to borrow from. And right now, no one is willing to give us money. Not even the loan sharks around here. The fact that we have this massive loan to pay off, as well as the fact that neither of us are working, they all tell us that they will never get any money back from us, so there's no agreement that can be made. Everyone keeps turning us away, banks and loan sharks alike. Oh dear. So please help us. And if you'd really like me to bring this up, he was once your husband and he's at fault for all of this. I think you have to be just as responsible for this happening as he is. Oh, hold on. That's your husband now, and so far, what's happening is exactly what the man deserves. He went into my husband's company with a toxic attitude and tried to act as though he already had the job. These days, loans on houses are really tough. And since this house is so expensive, things have been made worse. We could try and tell the bank to give us a little more time, but then the interest would skyrocket on us. Oh, is that right? So please, I am seriously asking for just a little money from you. You're the wife of a CEO after all, so you should have tons of money you can use, right? Of course we'll pay you back that money you lend us someday. I'm really sorry, Jade. Just like the two of you, I don't have any money in my savings. Huh? Not even a penny? Even though you're married to a CEO? You guys went and sold the land from the previous house, right? Well, I just recently went and bought that land back from the realtor. And in order to do that, I had to use up all my money that I had saved. Huh? I no longer have the house that contained all my best memories, but at least the land is still around for me to keep. So I'm thinking I'll have a new building built here, and I'll turn it into a cat cafe in memory of my Mickey. That's always been a dream of mine ever since I was a little girl. Are you being serious right now? You really went and spent all your money on that? Actually, as of right now, I'm in a little bit of debt myself. I had to borrow some money from my husband to make things work, and we'll have to pay him back later. So let's the both of us do our best to make some money. I want to save all kinds of cats off the street and make them my employees, and then make the money to pay my husband back. You're making it seem like you care more about those cats than your own sister. Well, of course I am. They are all cats after all. All so cute and fluffy. Way more cute than you are, especially. What? I understand that a lot of people think that cats can be mean and all, but when you treat them nice, they'll respect you as family. Unlike the two of you, who are neither cute, nor have the ability to treat anyone nicely, no matter who they are or what they do. Excuse me? Before you start to cry and beg for my help, why don't you help your husband out by finding yourself a job as well? You're not making any money yourself, and if you can't pay off that loan soon, you'll both be evicted from there by the bank. If that happens, then you both will become the newest additions to New York's homeless. Come on now, Ariana! I will not let myself become homeless! I'll send you a list later on of all my most recommended soup kitchens around the city. Good luck to the both of you now! These are all things I've heard from rumors, but it sounds like Trey, although very embarrassed in doing so, tried to go back to his old company and ask for them to forget about him quitting. But that company had already finished the process of letting him go, so there was no way back into his old job. He then began to freak out and started calling all the companies that had been wanting to hire him before. However, all of them had gotten other people to apply within that time, so there were no more positions open for Trey. Due to there being no easy jobs for him then, Trey went and sold that brand new house back to the bank, and in a single day moved out into a very small and cheap apartment with Jade. The only problem is that even with selling the house back, they would still need to owe around $200,000 to the bank. So right now, they're both working about 3 jobs each at local bars and diners, paying off whatever they can each month. It seems that things really didn't go their way when Trey didn't get that job he bragged about, and they couldn't keep the house that they were also bragging about. Now, with them being in pretty serious debt to the bank, who knows when they'll be back to living the life they were so accustomed to.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.